I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to another shelf review of the Dice Tower Library. This is shelf 11A. Now, if you've been following along on these in order, we just finished shelf 10, which is the welcoming games. This shelf is mostly the very, very opposite of that. This is war games and 18XX and etc. Now, we start with a few, for some reason these games just happen to get on this shelf, but you'll see as we go on. So here, let's get started here. First of all, we have New York Zoo. Now, you might say this belongs with the other polyomino games with the Uwe Rosenberg, because that's what it is. You're right, and it's actually my favorite of his games, of the polyomino ones, not counting Feast for Odin. But his shelf is full, and so I didn't have any more room on that shelf. So this might get moved at some point. Right now, this is where it fits. Dark Moon is here too. Now, Dark Moon, if you don't know, originally started out as a Battlestar Galactica dice game. I think it was called BSG Express on Board Game Geek. It wasn't a real game in the sense that they didn't get the license. So eventually when Stronghold picked it up, they just licensed it to some very, very generic Dark Moon. I still don't know what the theme of this game is. It's fine. I know a lot of people love it. I like it fine. I just don't love it. But some people do, and that's why it's in the library. Crusaders. Now, interestingly enough, I saw this game get played several times at our last event, and I'm glad. It has nice wooden pieces. It looks like a big war game, but it's more of a Euro game than anything else. And it's an excellent, I was about to say little game, and it is a little game in a sense. It's a, 45-minute to an hour game. It's not very long. It's worth checking out. Ninjato. This is from Z-Man Games. This one is another one that did not get a lot of love. It's a worker placement game about ninjas and samurais and things like that. Has some really cool pieces. Definitely worth checking out. All right, now we're getting into games that require a degree to understand. So we have, not really, but first we have PAX Pamir. This is the second edition. This one is very highly touted, and yes, I know I should play it, and yes, I will when I eventually catch up on new games, of which we just got 2 million. There's so many games coming out right now, lots of them, but I definitely would like to try this one out at some point. I've heard nothing but good about it, but I heard it's a fairly heavy game. Then we have Genoa, which is the redone version of Traders of Genoa, which is kind of odd that they took the word traders out because the game is all about trading. This is one of the heaviest trading games there is. It's a very heavy Euro game. Came out in the same line of Puerto Rico, Princess of Florence, etc. I like it, but it definitely, you really need to, if people who know the game are going to do much better than those who don't. And with a trading game, that's a little tricky. After that, we have The Great Fire of London. This is one of the first games from Pandasaurus. This was back when Pandasaurus was reprinting older games, as many companies start out doing. This one is an interesting game where there's a fire sweeping across London. You're trying to maintain it, stop it from burning as many sections as you can. Then we have the Shores of Tripoli. Now, if you've been watching our channel, you've seen us play this one live. It's very fun. It's actually a fairly light war game, two-player game. I know some people wouldn't call it a war game, but it definitely is. It follows, the wars during this time, and it's very asymmetrical, and is one of those games that I think the more you know it, the more you're trying to counter and outthink the other player. Space Empires is from GMT Games and is essentially a 4X game. I've not played this one, mostly because the pieces are kind of not up to snuff for me, and I just never got around to it. I've heard good from people who played it, but it is counters, and if I'm going to play a 4X game, I want to see like little spaceships and stuff. But again, maybe I'll get around to this one at some point. And this City of Big Shoulders. There's a lot of games in this shelf I've not played. There's another one. This is a fairly hefty Euro-style game. Again, the people who played it have told me it's very good. It's unforgiving in many ways. It's a very mean, in-your-face, long Euro game. Maybe I'll get to it. Eminent Domain. Folks, you would not believe how hot this game was at one point. It has definitely died down now. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it. But Eminent Domain was a deck builder of sorts. But the closest game I could think to would be Glory to Rome, actually. I think if you like Glory to Rome, you would like Eminent Domain. There's a lot of different expansions for it, but I think it plays pretty well, and it is only 45 minutes. Kind of a forgotten gem. Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space is the next one there. That game is fantastic. It's like a Scotland Yard where there's hidden movement, but everyone is doing hidden movement at the same time. Some are aliens, some are people trying to escape. So there you have it. Now this shelf, like I said, there's a lot of war games, and you'll see even more as we go down to lower shelves. But here we have Band of Brothers, which is a nice looking game. But I don't know much more about it other than I think it looks good. And then we have ASL, Advanced Squad Leader. Why is it even on the shelf? I don't know. I just figured that somebody might want to play it. So it's one of the classics of board gaming. It's a game that, in a sense, is like, you know, it would be in a hall of fame of sorts. I would definitely say so. But I haven't played it, and I probably never will. On the other hand, next to it, we have Undaunted Normandy. And then right after that, Undaunted North Africa. I enjoyed the first time I played these, and then as I kept playing them, I've enjoying them more and more. And in fact, this year they're supposed to come out with an expansion that expands both of them. The first one, there's some slight differences between them. I definitely like North Africa a little bit better than Normandy, but they're a deck builder combat game that uses a 10-sided die, and it's amazing how interesting this game is, because you are attacking your opponent, and when you hit them, cards come out of their deck, so you're trying to decide whether you're going to add more cards to your deck and to make your troops stronger. It's very, very down to just a few soldiers versus a few soldiers. Even one of the vehicles, there might be one vehicle on the map. It's a really great game that's good for new people to the hobby and for gamers who played a ton of war games. So it's fantastic, and of all the games on this shelf, I think it's my favorite. I really do like New York Zoo, but like I said, I think my favorite here is Undaunted. What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. But that's another shelf review from the Dice Tower. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you.